Hey everyone, this is Elias from RevMatch Media, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2022 Chevy Silverado 1500 LTD LTZ. Now, I'm really excited to take a drive in this guy. Let's go ahead and get started. We get started in the front and we have a really mean looking front. It's very big, it's very square. When you're driving in there, I did have to lift my seat up a little bit to kind of see the dimensions. Usually I like to drive really sunken down, but with this guy I did have to be a little bit elevated because these lines can get lost inside of the cabin. So a couple of things. We have the nice LED headlights. We do have these like daytime running lights that I do love with the turn signal. We do have kind of like this carbon fiber like pattern. It's just a pattern. It doesn't look like actual carbon fiber, but it's a nice little touch. Chrome. We have lots of chrome with this. So big chrome bumpers. We have our tow hooks here, and we have the front facing camera. This front facing camera is really good. It's super clear to tie in with the whole 360-degree view of this. This hood is mean. It's super sculpted. But yeah, and that cherry red color to it really stands out. Now, let's go ahead and see what we have underneath this pretty aggressive looking hood. So we get under this massive hood and we have the 3.0 liter inline six turbo diesel engine. We are cranking out 277 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. That is connected to the 10-speed auto and then to the 4x4 system that this has. This thing is a monster, but it is a very timid monster. What I mean by that is this is so smooth. It is so quiet. For everyday driving, it really is a great setup. And when you want to get it to scream though, you can definitely get those tires going with all that torque down below. It is a really great setup. I can see the massive turbo that is right here, almost as big as the engine itself. You do get 23 miles per gallon to the city and 31 on the highway. I did a 400-mile trip in one day, and I was a little bit heavy on the foot, but I did see about 27 miles to the gallon. So I could easily have done 31 if you know, if I was a little bit less aggressive on the gas. But it was really nice. Also, the 10-speed transmission is super smooth to get those gears going. The only thing that I kind of found weird is that the tachometer had a 5,200 RPM red line, yet this guy was only shifting at 4,000. Not sure what that is. I expected the 4,000 when I saw that. I was like, before I opened up the hood, I was like, I don't know if this really is a diesel, but yes, it really was a diesel. Yes, the tachometer shows a red line of 5,200 RPM. Yes, even in sport mode or tow mode, it was still only shifting at 4,000. But that's fine because the 10 gears were just, you know, one after the other, really felt good. I love this. I think I like it more than the V8. The low end torque is a nice feel to have, and that gas saving is a really nice touch. Yeah, you could probably tune this as well, but we won't tell Chevy that. Let's go ahead and see what we have in those wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package and we have this nicely polished 20-inch wheel. These things look really, really good, especially paired up with that nice red color. And we do have the Goodyear Wrangler 275/50 tire in this. Now, with the combination of both, this has been really good. It's been super quiet. It's been great at giving feedback, especially in the rear. If you maybe step on it a little bit too much and that diesel torque kicks in, you are able to really feel what the tire is doing, which is good, but not in a negative way that you're feeling literally every single little bump. So there is some softening of the road, so to speak, but it does behave really good on the highway as well. Did about 400 miles in this in one day and was super comfortable. The brakes in this are really, really good. That pedal feels really great. You know, it does require some pressure, but it's a good rewarding pressure that, you know, when you put your foot down, it's really gonna get this big guy stopped. The suspension is really good on this as well. It is not like other trucks where, you know, the front coils are a little bit on the softer side and kind of have you swaying. These guys will kind of hold you tight, but it won't also just rattle your teeth, so to speak. But yeah, overall, this has been a great combination. And I don't know if I would change the wheels because this is actually a pretty nice design. Well, let's go ahead and see what we have on the side. We get to the side and we can see this is a big truck, and I like the very square shape it has, but there's a lot of aggressive little aspects to it from within that box frame, so to speak. But we have the hood. Again, we have those sculpted elements which look really good. This fender is pretty nice with having that kind of cut out in there, that having that sharp line fall off there. It's a really nice design. We have those big wheels that are super comfortable to ride with. We do have the nice Z71 badge to let them know, yeah, you spend an extra couple of bucks on some nice options. Texas edition, because when you're in Texas, right? And we have the 360-degree camera here, which is nice. We also have a nice little light down here to shine down. And then we have side steps. Let me go ahead, and I have my key fob in my pocket, and when I grab the handle, yeah, it doesn't do anything. So unfortunately, you do have to press the button in order for it to unlock, and then the side step comes out. Now, the other thing as well is because you have to press that button, then you can go ahead and open up the rear, and the side step will obviously still remain deployed. One thing I was a little kind of nervous about was the side step. It does wobble. It is wobbling a little bit. I know it'll hold my weight and it'll be fine, but just that small shift was kind of alarming in the sense of like, whoa, you know, what's kind of going on, especially if you're essentially putting your whole weight on that when you're trying to get in. So that was only one thing. I do love the kind of the scissor action it has to actually deploy it, because it keeps it nice and clean and out of the way with that. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what we have in the back. We get to the back, and design-wise, this is so nice. A couple of things. Those taillights, this cutout is unbelievable. This design aspect of it is really nice. We have more than just a regular taillight like that. What else would I have changed? Maybe starting with that new trend where the glass or the plastic outside is clear, to give more shine, so to speak, to the elements inside. That would be nice to have, but yeah, the shape of this is incredible. We do have a step on the bumper. We do have the bumper cutout. This makes life easier, especially when you're getting a little bit older and you're still needing to get into bed, or you need to get your kiddo up in there. It's easier for him to step on there and get in. And we do have it on both sides, which is nice. My neighbor has a Ram, and he was he was loving this. He goes, man, I wish I had that, because I had to go in from the tire, because he doesn't have the optional step that you can put on the Ram. But again, with the Ram, you're still only putting it on one side. So this is a plus for the Chevy bed. So I do love that. And the bumper is nice. I mean, we have chrome. We do have the plastic on the top to help, you know, if you need to get in there and not slip, which is good. Then we have the tailgate. The tailgate wars, yes. Now, can this be on top? Maybe. There's a couple of things with this. I am gonna mess it up on this video because it is a very complicated tailgate. There are a lot of steps that you have to take. So I always forget if this is, yes, so that the top one makes sense. Gonna go to the top part. And we have this. So the top half splits open, which is nice because now you have a nice working station. So if I'm on location and I need to pause this video and then have my laptop, check it, make sure it's good, I have that. Or yeah, you just need somewhere to kind of put things on, and it's at a great height. that is the big thing. So I'm not too low where my hands are kind of reaching out, and I'm not kind of, you know, a Superman to reach up. So it is a nice height to have there. And we do have this plastic kind of bed liner to this part only. So we have that. Then we go ahead, I don't think it, yeah. So you do have to close it, then open it up. I might be wrong, but hear me out, internet. This is how it's worked for me. You can put down the main tailgate and then push the little top button from within underneath to get that going. And then there's a button here to get that step going. I do love this step. There's a couple of reasons I love this step. You have such a massive platform for you to get up. The reason I don't like those kind of side on one side steps is, what if you have one bad leg or you don't have enough strength on one specific leg? This makes it easier for you to obviously use your left or the right to get in. Another thing, my dog loved getting in here. It was easy for me to kind of, you know, have him come up here and then, you know, smaller steps to get his big guy in there. So it is a nice option to have. And yeah, I've been really loving this. Then we also have the, I guess you could call that the grandpa stick. I don't know, but yeah, to help you kind of really get up. I don't know if it looks like you can install it on both sides. No, you cannot. So it is only on the left side. But yeah, it's a nice little setup. I do like how to get in here. A couple of things, the bed liner on this is incredibly thick. It feels like a plastic was put in there, like a drop-in bed liner, and then the bed liner itself, the spray-on bed liner, was put on top of that. But it's not. It's just that damn thick. It really is incredibly thick. But yeah, it's nice bed in the back. We have the LED lights to help illuminate if you need some light there. And then again, you just close this guy. This is the only thing that is a little tough. Because you're pulling this guy up, it is going to bring kind of both of them up. So if you only want to kind of put this one up, you have to put pressure on one to have it lock. Yeah, kind of a small thing, but the tailgate itself is fairly easy and fairly light to bring up with no problem. Another thing I like about this is we do have two camera hookups. You have the camera hookup for behind the trailer and the other one from within the trailer as well, which is a nice touch. Yeah, basically all your towing hookups are readily available there. Now, we take a look at the key fob. So I'll go ahead and lock it, and I do have the button that I can press twice and it will drop the large tailgate. So you have that, which is nice. So only thing is you press it twice and it's not gonna bring it up. So you do have to, I was spoiled with another truck. So you do have to bring it up yourself. And we have the remote start. So you can remote start this diesel. So you go ahead and you press the lock button and then you push and hold the little arrow button. And you quietly fire up that 6-cylinder. Yeah, it's very quiet. Now, these exhaust tips, yeah, they're semi there. They're semi-real in the sense that the exhaust tube does go to the edge of the back of that tip, but it doesn't connect. So it's not truly there, but the design is there. Yeah, I'm getting micro, I think it's micro or mini USB vibes. It does look like that connection. But overall, it's really a nice looking rear to the Silverado. Well, it's getting cold out here, so let's go ahead and hop in to this warmed up Silverado. You get inside of the Silverado and it's big. There is a ton of space in here. I'm extremely comfortable. This has been one of the most relaxing rides I've had in a while. And it's not just because of the space. So we'll get started. On the door, nothing too fancy. We have your basic controls of the, windows and of the door locks, things like that. One thing which will get into when we talk about the seats. But we do have like a little bit of a wood grain, which is a nice little touch. It's kind of dark, so it kind of blends in with the dark interior here. But it would have been nice and maybe a lighter color to just really stand out or give that little bit of more accent. But we get to the seat, and these things are super comfortable. They are big, they are plush, and they are nicely heated right now because it is really cold. But with that being said, the one thing that I was just kind of confused about was the memory setting. So we do have 2 memory settings, but in order to activate it, or what happens is when you get out of the truck or when you turn off the truck seat goes back so that you're easy to get out, easy to get in. But the moment you get in and you try to turn on the truck, and you'd think it would go into your setting, it does not. So it doesn't go into the setting. You have to actually push and hold it in order for it to get to that seating position. I don't know if it's a setting. I tried looking for something in the system, but that was a little bit of annoyance because I had to, again, always press down and hold the button till it got to the position. But once you were there, it was good. And what's actually really incredible about this is my seating posture has been vertical, very ergonomically, I guess, positioned, but it's been very comfortable even sitting straight up, which is good for your back. Yeah, all that good stuff, and it was still comfortable. Not like others where I have to recline back in order to feel comfortable. So that's been a big plus. Now we get over to the left side of the steering wheel, and we have our controls. We have our drivetrain controls. We have the different drive modes. We have trailer, we have sport, we have normal, and this also has the controls for your, for the 4x4 system, 2 high, 2 low, 4 low, that stuff. It's nice. It's nice to have that independently on there. And then we get to the steering wheel itself, and this is nice. It's been, like I said, really cold, and the heated elements in this are really good. They've kept my hands nice and warm, so nice comfort features. The leather feels really good. The pedal, the actual buttons, I'm still gonna have my gripe about the GM buttons where the top isn't an actual button, but the sides are. So yeah, you use the wheels. Yeah, big pet peeve of mine. But the favorite thing about this is you have the rear buttons to control your volume and the next track. Yes, I love that, and they are really nicely placed so that you could activate those. We get to the gauge cluster, and this is where I can't wait for the new gauge cluster. We do have the analog gauges on this, which is nice, and we have that little middle screen, gives you tons of information, really everything you would need. But I do like that new system that was announced for the Silverado. It's a huge improvement. So can't wait to test that out, because I believe the Tahoe that we drove has a similar system, if not the screen aspect, or what GM Chevy has done with those screens has been really good. Now we get over to the infotainment system, and we have a fairly small screen. It is not the biggest, so it is a little tough to kind of love this infotainment system because of that. And in such a big truck, I am wanting the bigger screen. I am definitely wanting a bigger screen, so it doesn't get a pass because it is a really good system in the sense of the backup cameras. So it is really crystal clear when you're using that. Only problem, we do need a hard button. I could not find the hard button for the camera, so we definitely need one, because the camera system is so good. If the camera weren't that good, I could care less about having a hard button. But Chevy, you guys did a great job in having such a clear camera system that it's wanting me to have. Maybe that button here in the middle would have been nice instead of a blank button there. We get down to the AC controls, and very simple, very straightforward, no complaints there. And then we have our array of truck buttons, I guess you would say. Well, we have safety components here. And yeah, they're really nice feeling buttons as well. We do have the USB connections here, USB-A and USB-C, and I haven't really needed them because I've been using the wireless charger. The wireless charger down here is really nice. It is out of the way. It really is not going to move. It's extremely snug in there, so good design there. We have a little area for maybe another phone. In this case, I have my sunglasses there, which is good. We come back to the armrest, and it is a big armrest. It's very comfortable for both driver and passenger, so you'll have no elbow wars kind of thing. So it's really comfortable. It does have a nice little area here for like another phone. Missed opportunity for a secondary wireless charger would have been nice here. I'm sure aftermarket supplies them, but it is a nice little touch there. We go inside and we do have more USB ports and a massive amount of space. So nice area there. We got to the back, and as you can tell, wave to the camera, Gavin. Hey. So my kid decided to ride along for the review, and he's very comfortable back there. There's a ton of space. His kid seat is there. Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's comfortable. And he likes the truck, likes getting into it. With those side steps, makes things a lot easier to get into. And
100% easy to get in.
yes, he said 100% easy to get in. So we have that. And the biggest thing with the rear seating is there is a massive space. There's a massive like hole above, which makes it great for passengers. If you have tall passengers, tall workers, it is a great thing. It was funny because I sat in there. My neighbor actually sat in the rear truck, and we're both kind of short. And he gets in, and immediately he realized, whoa, there is a lot of headroom space, and it is really good. So, and when you look outside of the truck, you don't see a little bump, you don't see anything. So it's nice to have that space. So for tall people, you guys can roll in the back. No more calling shotgun because you're saying you're uncomfortable. So it is a nice thing back there. We have a little bit of storage under the seat. So, you know, if you want to put some building materials, not too much though, but something is better than nothing. We get to the bed, and the bed is nice. Like I said, that bed liner is so thick. It is really protecting. Like you could feel the thickness of the bed liner, which is nice. And you know, that tailgate, it's just great. I mean, it really does an awesome job of, you know, being practical and having different use for that tailgate. Now let's talk performance. We're dealing with the 3.0 liter turbo diesel engine cranking out 277 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. That is connected to the 10-speed auto and then to the 4x4 system. Now, this isn't your typical turbo diesel. Couple of things. I'm looking at the tachometer, and it's showing a 5,200 RPM red line. That's fairly high for a diesel, but the weird thing is that it doesn't actually go all the way. It actually shifts at about 4,000, which is normal, which is, you know, what you usually expect in a diesel. But yeah, so that was a little weird. But other than that, this thing is amazing. First of all, it's really quiet. It's a really quiet turbo diesel. I didn't even know. You know, the guy dropped it off, said, oh yeah, it's a turbo diesel, and I remote started. I was like, that sounds really quiet. But it's a turbo diesel. And a couple of things. It can really get going. I was impressed with the power that this thing has, and it does sound good. When you can hear it, it does have a nice little, you know, you hear the turbo, you hear the wastegate kind of go off. It's a really nice sounding inline six, and smooth as butter. This thing, the power delivery is really nice. It's not a violent you know, amount of power just kind of coming in. When you need it, it is there, but it is so smooth in delivering that power. Another thing, the brakes. The brakes feel really good in this. They have a good amount of pressure on the pedal that makes it nice to deal with, especially in emergency situations where you really need to put down the pedal. It can get the work done. So I've been amazed at that. And the steering wheel, the suspension has been incredible. Any bumps, small or big, has just responded really well, especially with those big tires that this has. It's been amazing. I have had a blast in this. And that transmission is so smooth as well. You do have the shifter here on the column. You do have the plus and minus if you want to go ahead and shift it yourself. But overall, this thing has been really smooth. But overall, I've been extremely impressed with the Silverado, which makes my decision of, man, which truck do I get, even harder. There are some things I like about others that I wish this had, but this has been a really good overall package. I've been impressed. And the looks you get with this it really stands out. So it really stands out, even in that red. I mean, if we probably had another color, we would still stand out because it's such a big truck. Like the driving dimensions that I see are, I had to put my seat up higher than I normally do. Normally I like to drive really sunken down on a car or a truck, but with this I did have to kind of lift myself a little bit because the front is a very big box. But yeah, overall I've been super impressed with the Silverado. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Chevy Silverado 1500 LTZ. Remember, find the right gear. See ya.